Good evening, everyone. Nice to see everybody here. Nice, large audience. Thanks for being here on a snowy night and making the trek out here. I'm Michael Sloan, the high school orchestra director, and Mr. Trenton Plopper is the middle school director. He'll be out in just a minute to start our concert, but I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. It shouldn't be a long concert, but we students have worked very hard, and I'm looking forward to hearing this. We have some great eclectic music for tonight. So without further ado, we'll start with Mr. Plopper.
I just want to echo what Mr. Sloan just said, and thank you all for coming out, and welcome to our concert this evening. We're going to get started with our 6th grade, or our beginner orchestra, which is a mixture of 6th and 7th graders. Anybody who's wanting to start in orchestra in middle school, we have this group for them. And our first song tonight is going to be called First Star. Within this piece is kind of embodying the image of walking out onto a clear night where you see just that one star, that one pinprick of light. And as the piece continues, you'll hear different staccatos and pizzicatos that will indicate new stars appearing in the night sky. Our second song is a little bit of a different genre. It's called Dinosaur Damage, and it is a fun song for everybody to play. It's got a lot of faster notes, and it's got a lot of different parts, which has been very exciting to learn as a group. If you all remember from our last concert, those of you that were at our fall concert, this group was playing mostly single part music with one little duet at the end. Both of these pieces are full 4-part orchestra, so they've done a lot of great work over the last couple months, putting this all together, learning their individual parts, and with only 2 combined rehearsals, putting it all together for you today. So again, thank you for coming. This is our beginning orchestra. as our switcheroo happens down there. You might notice this year in the program that for the middle school we have our beginner orchestra, our symphony orchestra, and then our concert orchestra. This is something that myself and Miss Barron, the band teacher at the middle school, have started doing so that we have that opportunity for students, if they're in their first year, that they're not feeling like, oh, I'm an 8th grader in a 6th grade orchestra, because that's a little awkward and uncomfortable. Same with the 2nd and 3rd year. It gives everybody a chance to come in where they're at, rather than having to try and jump to that next level. If they're a first year 8th grader trying to play 8th grade music, it's not going to work and they're not going to feel very successful. So this gives them an opportunity, whether they're a 2nd year, 3rd year, wherever they're at, to find their place in the middle school orchestra. Now that we've gotten ourselves situated up here, now we have our symphony orchestra. This is our mostly 7th graders. I think there is normally one 8th grader up here with us. But tonight we'll be doing 2 pieces. Our first one will be Garden of Lilies, and our second one is called Beyond the Thunder. Within Garden of Lilies, it's much slower of a piece, which sometimes the students don't enjoy as much, but that's okay. But it practices our counting as well as cellos and violas. It introduces some extensions with our 3rd and our 4th finger. And it's just a very peaceful piece, so as you listen to it, you can just kind of imagine like you're walking through this beautiful garden as it's nice and cold and snowy and dark outside. Picturing that springtime is sometimes very nice. The second piece, Beyond the Thunder, is a little bit more intense, as it starts with some 8th notes and staccatos in our cellos, as that distant thunder, and that theme continues throughout the entire piece, with a mixture of other 8th notes as that thunder, with that where there's a middle section that is much more of that eye of the storm, where it's peaceful and calm. That's where you can hear a lot of that violin viola melody come through. It's a great piece. Every section gets a nice little melody, so you can kind of hear it pass through the orchestra. So again, I hope you enjoy our symphony orchestra. And this is the last time you have to hear me talk, so for good or for ill, this is the last time. Finally, we have our concert orchestra here today, which is mostly comprised of our 8th graders, or 3rd-year players. This group has been a lot of fun to work with this year. We've done some more challenging music. Some of these students here, and then a couple of our 7th grade students are also involved in something new this year, our chamber ensemble. This is during Falcon time, where a select group of 7th and 8th graders come together. We play some harder music that is outside of what we would normally play here in orchestra. We performed at our first concert, and then we'll also perform at our final concert in May. They have 2 really cool pieces that's taken a lot of work, but I think for the most part they're enjoying them. Today we have our 2 pieces for you. We have The Bird, and then we are also doing, what's the other one? Reflections on a Rainbow. My brain blanked for a second there. These are 2 of the 3 pieces that we will be using at the Minnesota Mid-Level Regional Festival here in March, where we're going to go to Owatonna High School, perform for a couple of judges and a clinician, and then we're going to get some feedback, and they're going to come work with us, and it'll be a great learning experience for these students. So this will be take 1 on some of these songs, and they're doing a wonderful job with them. The Bird is something that I really enjoy. It is written by Haydn, and it is originally for a string quartet, which is a great place for this one because we're a little bit of a smaller group this year, which is perfectly all right. And it uses a bunch of different techniques that we might not have been used to. One of them, we're in 2/2 time, which is a little confusing sometimes. Also, it can be referred to as cut time sometimes. And they weren't huge fans of that, but we're getting into it. It also has different versions of staccatos, which is nice and light staccatos rather than heavy staccato like you heard in the last one. As you listen, see if you can hear where there's like call and response of 2 birds back and forth, or just a nice light bird flying through the air. And our other piece, Reflections on a Rainbow, is a much more peaceful, chill, as you're just enjoying a nice spring day. Again, my brain's on spring sometimes because it's cold outside and I want it to be warm. So as you're listening to that one, there's some nice rhythmic places in there, and just everybody gets the melody, which is always nice. It's just peaceful. So I hope you enjoy these 2 pieces from our concert orchestra.
Well, thank you, Faribault Middle School Orchestra. Nice work. That's hard. Coming into a new place, new sound. Oh, it sounds, when you're up here, it sounds like you're playing alone and by yourself. That's not the case out there. It sounds like you can hear everybody, but good job. This is tough to come into a new school without rehearsals and practice. What these students do in orchestra is using a lot of different parts of their brain. Obviously, they're listening, they're reading, and they're creating music and making sound all at the same time. So it's quite an experience for them. One of the great things about orchestra class is that the phones are not able to be out because we're playing. So they cannot use phones, and they do a good job with that. These are great students. We're going to start next with the Falcon Orchestra. Falcon Orchestra is open to anybody, grades 9 through 12, but this particular year it is 9th graders, right? There's anybody's 10th graders. We do have some people from different schools, and not different schools, but right, MSAB is here, and so we're glad to have them. And without further ado, we'll continue. Just give us a second to get tuned and make sure we're ready to go. This next piece, Blue Rhythmico, is based kind of on a blues. And if you know music at all, blues is kind of it's a form, really comes from this country, and it's based on a 3-line poem. The first 2 lines are the same, and the third line is kind of the answer to the poem. And so there's no words to this, but the form and the structure of it is that blues form using basically the 1-4-5 chords in D minor. So that's what key we're playing in. This is Blue Rhythmico.